What's going on, guys? Corey with Brown Family Ranch. If you guys are new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And you're in for a treat. We got a lot of stuff. So dive in head first. Go check out some of the videos. If you are staying along with our progress, I am headed to San Antonio, and I'm assuming, and I bet you guys could guess what I'm doing. You are correct. We're going to pick up some goats. We got 3 New Zealand Kiko does. Finally, somebody wanted to sell me a doe. I've been struggling trying to find one, or find multiple, but I was able to find some online, and we are headed, like I said, to San Antonio. A lot of them are up in Oklahoma. You know, there's not a lot of stuff here in South Texas, near the Houston area, so maybe I can be the kind of pioneer, you know, getting Kikos on the map down here in South Texas. There are a couple places, Southeast Texas, should I say. Not a lot. It's just wet land around here, and it's kind of hard to raise some goats. But that's kind of what this video is about today. I'd kind of like to go over some things that I have learned over the past 2 years of owning goats. You know, we've had our struggle, and I know a lot of the people that are following me today are most likely goat owners, and if not, you know, if you plan on ever getting into goats, you can look back at this video and say, hey, you know, I'm glad he posted that, because, you know, I learned from him. But I'm gonna go ahead and say the first thing that I learned was goats have to have ample food, ample hay, free range. You can't just stick them in a pen and feed them grain and not give them any hay. If it's going to be a small pen, they better have as much hay as they can eat. The reason being is because if they don't have any grain, they're browsers, right? So they go around, they go around picking at plants, grass, weeds, indigenous weeds, and if they're doing that and they don't have a lot of grass in there, and say it's, you know, they're having to eat down by the dirt, that's where they poop. So they're gonna have some issues there. And the reason why is because they have worms. So if they poop out worms and they're eating where they poop, they're gonna get worms, and then you have a possible dead goat on your hands. So, you know, give them plenty of space or give them plenty of food. So number 2, if you see that your goat has diarrhea, obviously you need to keep an eye on it. Watch it, check on it every now, actually pretty frequently, check on your goat. But if you see that it has diarrhea, it does not hurt to go ahead and send in a fecal sample to your vet, your local vet, to see what worms there are, what worms they have. Could be barber pole, you know, could even be coccidia. Coccidia is a bacterial infection, and that is some bad stuff. So you take that into your vet, it takes 30 minutes. They'll look at it, they'll tell you what you have, and you can know whether to use, you know, Sidectin, Valbazen, Levamisol, or, you know, ivermectin, something of that sort. So that's what we had to find out the hard way. I'll give you guys a little backstory here. We lost 9 goats to coccidia, a coccidia outbreak on our property, and that was probably the most helpless feeling we've had in a long time. We were thinking about selling them all. We were just done, right? But luckily, we did have Kikos at that time, but we had Nigerian dwarfs. I don't like losing any goats, but I'm just really glad it wasn't my Kikos. Kikos are just, they're so hardy, and they're just so parasite resistant. So, like I said, get a fecal sample if you start seeing diarrhea. You can use Spectiguard like Josh Lappin with Bodart Kiko. And if it doesn't clear it up, then yeah, send it through as a fecal sample. Get your goat checked out, because you don't want to lose a goat. But yeah, so third, this one is an extremely important one. Don't buy from just anyone. Make sure you do your research on these people selling goats. If you go buy a commercial goat and you don't know anything about goats, and this person sells them to you, they're not going to tell you the whole truth, right? Look at their lineage. Buy registered, I would suggest, because you're going to end up getting more money out of them later on. Buy registered, purebred. Percentages are fine. At least you have some sort of lineage. I would suggest purebred or New Zealand. We bought a bunch of commercial goats, and I feel like we kind of got gypped. We were young. We were a little wet behind the ears in the Kiko or in the goat world, which we still are. And I'm not claiming to be an expert or anything. These are things that I've learned. Buy registered. Buy New Zealand. And if you don't, buy from somebody that is trustworthy. A well-known goat farmer, like Deep South Kiko's, Bodart Kiko, from a well-known seller. So that would be rule number 3, guys. All right, lesson number 4 that I found to have helped me out tremendously, and that is buy supplements that are pertinent to your operation. Goats, they wake up and they just want to die. It's just how it is. Goats will just wake up and say, hey, it's my time. I'm gonna go ahead and die today. And you'll find them out there in the pasture laying down, and you can't get them up, and they're lifeless. And when that happens, if you have purchased the supplements that you need to treat them, then you won't have to wait to go to the vet, right? Because chances are it's going to happen on a weekend when the vet's closed, or 10 o'clock at night, nobody's open, nobody's going to answer, and it's just going to be you and that goat, and you're not going to know what the heck to do. All you're going to have is your phone and some supplements that you thankfully bought. So things like thiamine, vitamin B12, baking soda, apple cider vinegar, molasses, antibiotics, all these things, guys. Deworm. Make sure you have multiple different types of deworms, because there's multiple types of them. They're not all in the same category, and if you keep using the same one or the same category over and over again, they're going to gain a resistance to that. So make sure you guys have supplements. You have deworm just in case. I'm not saying you need to use it, do it on a schedule or anything like that, because we don't. We do it whenever they need it, if they need it, and everything like that. So that's lesson number 4. Lesson number 5. What we have learned is you don't keep goats in a single pasture for more than a month or 2. If you guys have enough land, and this is for people that have enough land to do so, rotate your goats. We learned a hard lesson, because like I said, we're new at this, but we learned a hard lesson, and that lesson was we had wormy goats, and we had goats die because of our negligence and our lack of knowledge on rotating goats. Rotate them. Get them on new pasture. Get them on new protein. Make sure you guys have the fencing or are building the fencing, or get Premier 1 electric netting. it's a very cost-effective way of rotating your goats, and it saves on labor. You're not having to sit there and bust your back building fence. You know, you just, you know, pick up this netting, move it to where you want it to, and then you let your goats munch down on the new grass, or the new, you know, new weeds, whatever you got to do. But you will be thankful that you did this, because it really cuts down on worms. It really cuts down on parasites, and they thrive whenever they're rotated. So that's rule number 5, guys. All right, people. So that's 5 rules or 5 lessons that I have learned throughout my journey with goats. It is a journey. It's fun. It's definitely fun, but it is nerve-wracking, guys. I know with anything when it comes to livestock, you're going to lose animals. We're not experts, you know, but we try the best that we can. These are our animals. We take pride in them, and they're so much fun. You know, and for a lot of people, this is their livelihood, and so take these lessons that I've learned with a grain of salt. Learn for yourself, but take into consideration some of the things that I've said, because this is what we've learned from, and we did it ourselves. You're talking to somebody who has taken the time and has gone through the struggle of losing, like I said, 9 goats in 2021, and it was not fun. It was not fun. It was late nights, me staying up, you know, putting this thing in a trash bag and putting it in warm water, trying to heat it up, and then, you know, spending 2-3 hours with this goat, this, you know, lifeless animal, only to fail and have to bury it. So it's rough, like I said, guys, but it's definitely rewarding whenever you see those kids pop out and you're able to see them go to new homes and everything. So you guys stay safe out there, and if you haven't, make sure to go back and watch that video of Midnight, SPG 421 Midnight. That dude is a monster. He's going to be our herd sire this year. We're gonna let BT's White Lightning grow a little bit. I want to see how he looks, and I'm excited to see this year's kid crop and next year's kid crop. It's going to be amazing. And like I said, we're going to pick up some new goats, so we'll capture some footage of that. I don't know if I want to make that part of this video or the next video, but I guess we shall see. Hey guys, again, reminder, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and that bell, so you get some notifications whenever we post new videos. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see y'all.